Hello, this is Samuel Dergel. This is CxO Interviews, and today we have with us Harsh Chugh, who is CFO at PlanSource, as well as Zane Zumbahlen, CHRO at Cancer Treatment Centers. They are joining us today because the topic is life after IBM. So I know Harsh and I know Zane, and I thought it'd be great to get them together for an interview to talk about what's it like after being with a large organization like IBM and moving to a smaller organization outside that world.
Thank you, Samuel. I am Zane Zumbahlen, the CHRO and Chief Talent Officer for Cancer Treatment Centers of America. We've got about 3,000 stakeholders, 3,700 stakeholders across the country. We are predominantly in 5 hospitals and we treat patients with cancer. The premise of the company is more comprehensive cancer care. So at our hospitals, we offer everything from the front-end diagnosis through the treatment path, naturopathic medicine, nutrition support, etc. So it's really trying to have everything under one roof, everything from all parts of the care in a way that is very patient-centered. It's an easy place to fall in love with and to find the purpose behind it. So I've been here for just shy of 4 months, and it's a place that I've gotten really heavily engaged in and found a passion for. So a lot of fun. Let's see, I had just over 24 years with IBM, and an amazing experience there also. So a lot of learning from that I've been able to take into the current job.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm putting this together because I talk to a lot of people at larger companies and they're saying, okay, maybe it's time to leave. How did you know it was time to move beyond IBM?
So I had, 24 years, 12, 13 different jobs, just some amazing jobs and opportunities. I was the head of HR for IBM Japan, all in 20,000 or more employees. I had a team of 150 driving $9 billion in revenue. What I loved most is setting the tone, tenor, and strategy for the organization and seeing what we could do to try to shift the culture and the talent of the workforce to where it needed to be for the future. And I came back from Japan in 2018, and I just had a hunger to see if I could do that for an organization outside of IBM. If I could run CHRO and really try to play at that level and scale and set the tone and tenor for a company rather than a part of a company. I was also on the Red Hat acquisition and helping with the synergy and partnership efforts between IBM and Red Hat. And I had the privilege of working with the CHRO for Red Hat, and I just saw her doing a job that I aspired to. So it gave me an impetus to really start to look outside and see what I could manifest for my future.
Awesome. How did life at IBM prepare you for life after IBM?
I wouldn't be where I am today without those experiences. In fact, there were so many things that I've learned that I wrote some of them down and I just kept going on the list. It's creating a culture of innovation because IBM takes such pride in it, right? It is a minimum viable product, and the things that you just try to do and get out the door in that innovation experimentation phase. The ability to create and drive a strategy, the business acumen you learn, how to try to scale and grow a business, and also how to manage through a downturn. Both of which I'm using at different parts of CTCA right now. The global nature of the work we've done, the breadth of experience, the types of projects you get driven onto or volunteer to lead, and how to work with a multicultural team and handle cultural differences and diversity of an organization and try to bring out the best in yourself and in the team with whom you're partnering. There are just so many things that I learned and benefited from IBM, and I've directly applied that to every day of the job I've been in now.
Amazing. Thank you. So you've been at IBM for 18, 25 years. What surprised you most once you moved beyond IBM?
I've had surprises on both sides of the coin. So on the on the positive side, or on the strength side, it's been, I've gone into healthcare. I went from technology to healthcare, and to do so with a very patient-centered and focused population and company. So I've had the benefit of talking to 10 patients at this point, and I try to do, one every couple of weeks, just because it keeps you grounded. But when you have a patient tell you that you gave me my life back when I had no hope left, or when I honestly had a patient say it's almost worth having had cancer to come here. So I took a ton of pride being part of IBM, and I knew where we were trying to drive the market and technology, and it always felt like an amazing thing that we were doing. It's a little different here, where you're hitting so close to home. I mean, I lost my father to lung cancer, so I've got a personal passion for this, but to find that in the patients, and the company employs this thing called the Mother Standard of Care, a principle, a culture called the Mother Standard of Care, that basically says we want to treat every patient like a member of our family. So the purpose and the passion behind that, and to find almost 4,000 stakeholders or employees that are driven by that same passion, is really a cool thing to have found. So that's been it's been a great opportunity and feeling coming in, and to feel that so quickly. On the other side, it's an organization that has had and is learning how to work in a matrix, between the hospitals that have predominantly been the epicenter of activity, to how do you instill the right processes and the right metrics to manage in, a tough healthcare environmental environment, and a COVID environment. So there are things that you do as an organization that you need to do to get to a point of stability and opportunity for future growth that are not necessarily familiar. So we're working through the kinks of, deeper metrics, stronger, centralization and revenue alignment, that are some of the things that I'm bringing from IBM. So I'm playing on both sides of how do we grab the hearts and minds and extend that further, and how do we exercise some rigor and discipline, and also innovation and experimentation that are coming from IBM, and do more of that. So it plays to both sides of the spectrum with respect to some surprises.
Thanks for sharing that. A few people that are watching this, could be at a large company themselves, been there for a long time, they're executives there. What advice would you give these people as they're considering a potential move beyond the big company that they're in today?
One thing that I think is really important is alignment with the leadership, but also what is the company in existence for? What is their purpose? What is their culture? When I was leaving, I spoke to a number of friends who had become CHRO, and they said, make sure you go to a place that parallels what you're about. I was lucky to find that, but so understand the culture of the place you're considering. As you get in, learn, embrace, and go deep in that culture. Do a lot of active listening, and give yourself credit for what you've learned. But, to Harsh's earlier point, you've got to take risk. You've got to experiment. And in many cases, you're going to be filling the gap that you may have had a team around you to do in your larger company, and you're going to have to fill that. So, I've had a couple of calls today where I was doing, project management and a leadership consultation. So I'm branching well beyond the rigor and discipline of HR or talent to try to fill those gaps, and then meet up with people who have comparable skill sets in their respective areas and bridge. You're getting into a state of going from comfort to discomfort. Get used to that, because you're going to have to stretch beyond the comfort zone of the finite role that you used to have in your prior company, and go beyond that in order to succeed in the new company.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Harsh and Zane, for joining us. The topic was life after IBM, and I hope you found it enjoyable. Thank you again, and good luck with your exciting new roles and an exciting time. Looking forward to hearing how this moves forward for both of you.